I finally got my daughter to go down for a nap so I can finally sit down and talk to you guys. Take care of the baby. Babies first. Oops, I love this pen. Excuse me for looking like a little troll, but mom life, how that goes. For everybody who doesn't know, my name is Ashley Brooke, and I'm autistic. I'm also diagnosed with ADHD. I was nonverbal until I was 7, and I stopped talking from ages 10 to 11. I grew up with a lot of trauma, growing up abuse in every sense of the word, and I ran away at home, and I'm still standing, so I think I know something about autism. I just wanted to bring some awareness to, I know that being a parent is tough, and especially when you're neurotypical and you have a child that is, that has a neurological difference like autism. It's a little hard because the communication is different, the way that we perceive the world is different, and I just wanted to tell everybody, I hope it doesn't come off rude, I think it sounds rude sometimes, I just want to tell you guys, slow down. Yeah, I feel like this world's in a hurry, and imagine being blind, and someone's rushing you to do something. Imagine all the fear that would come about, all the negative stimulation. And I don't think that autistic children need any more negative stimulation. That's how autism is manifested in your DNA expression, through behavioral epigenetics, which is a mutation in your DNA expression caused by negative stimuli. How one interprets their own environment, plays a big part, on their mental health and medical health. And I think it's important that the world knows to slow down. I know that's hard when you have a job and you have responsibility, but just remember that you can sometimes feel like a blind person being rushed to go do something. It's like telling a blind person to hurry up, you have 30 seconds to get down that staircase. It's like, it's a panic, the thought processing has shut down. It's like, it's froze, I can't think another thought or a word. I can't think, everything just freezes. And it's scary. It can really stop a child from learning, And everyone's always like, autism is overly diagnosed and ADHD is overly diagnosed. And pay attention, the same people that are saying this are the ones that are saying that there's a mental health epidemic. They're the same ones that are saying, here, give your child this medication. They're in such a rush to just prescribe medications. Here, this will make them appear normal. And I just think that's a really inhumane approach, especially to children. It's really taking time to slow down and observe the child and pay attention, and be sensitive to a child that's developing, and it's really concerning. And parents have just put so much faith into professionals, therapists and doctors, and they're all rushing it, and a lot of them are doing the best they can, but they don't really know your child, and they're not taking the time to. They're just doing whatever was taught to them, And unfortunately, that's not enough when it comes to autistic children. I always say there's no one best to teach your autistic child or help them overcome a barrier, or a milestone like an autistic person. We understand, we went through it ourselves, so that's something to take into consideration, and if you're not autistic and you have an autistic child, the love of a mother is very powerful also, just try to, when you don't know what to do, just try to slow down and remember what I said. It's like asking a blind person to go down the staircase in 30 seconds. That's what your child may feel like. It causes a panic. I mean, I'm rocking just thinking about it, imagining it. feel like it's like that. I can't really blame anybody or the professionals. We live in a fast-paced world. Everybody's rushing to do stuff, and it's like they can really focus on making healthy choices for themselves. Even professionals, even if they have the education. It's so fast-paced that everyone's in a rush, everyone's in a panic. Everybody is just trying to they want the quickest way to solve a problem. I really call that instant gratification concept, and they're using, they're using a term. It's a psychological term. It's called heuristics. You guys, look it up, heuristics, and it's this thinking strategy is effective when it's when it pertains to maps or strategic physical problem solving, like what's the closest parking structure to the mall. It's not effective for complex situations that involve social interaction. Because people are using it incorrectly, this strategy, this problem-solving strategy, is resulting in a lot of cognitive errors. Everyone's just rushing to get it done, and they're not getting it done efficiently. My grandmother used to always tell me that I'll say, do it right or do it twice. And here I am telling you guys have to do it right, or you do it twice, maybe 3 times, 4 times. Everyone's in such a hurry. It's funny because everybody's in such a hurry to get it done that they go all fast and they end up having to repeat it. So how much time did you really save when one thing turned into doing that one thing about 10 times? Everything just slow down. It might take you a little longer, it feels like, at first to get to where you need to get, but you'll do it efficiently, I always say by the time I get there, it may have taken me a little longer growing up to learn, and a lot of stuff I have to practice every day so I can be on my toes, but I'm rock solid, and I think that people need to slow down, stop using heuristics to solve your social situations and your child's, mental health and, neurological differences. It's time for everybody to stop listening to what everyone's saying and use your own brain. God gave you a brain for a reason. You do have knowledge. Everybody does. Everybody has, a certain type of intelligence, and I believe that if you would just exercise your own, gift that you have, then you might, realize that you can use that to help yourself. And I just really wanted to, touch on the fact that, a lot of people who have mental illness, it also, and drug addiction, and alcoholism, you can even relate it to that, to those aspects, because we're living in a fast-paced world. Everybody, you need to make money, you need to eat, you need to have clothes, basic needs need to be met. And when you don't have the tools to do that, you're being desperate because of the rush that you need the time that you have to get these things done. You can't starve, you can't go a night without a roof over your head. You need that money and you need that roof, over your head. You need that clothes on your back right now. So a lot of people, I think that it leads them into, stealing, robbing. I've heard of a lot of people that were thieves that they stole because their children needed to eat, or their children needed, a roof over their head. They needed to make the rent money, They need to pay the bills. And I just want to bring it to light. I'm a big Christian, but I can explain it in science. I can explain it with psychology and biology. When you are doing things that go against your own conscience, it causes negative stimulation. Whether you do it and you feel like, I needed to do that. The fact that you did something that you shouldn't have to do, it causes negative stimulation. And that negative stimulation is the same negative stimulation that's causing mental illness. It's associated. Go going against your own conscience, causes that negative stimulation that is mutating that DNA expression, that's making schizophrenia, drug addiction, alcoholism, bipolar. All these neurological differences are being caused by negative stimuli and going against your own conscience. And why are we doing this? Because we're using, why do people do things that they know is hurting themselves, but they keep doing it anyways? I've asked myself that growing up when I see my family all around hurting themselves, and I know that they used to be really, really good people when they were in church. And I was like, oh my God, I've seen this world turn with really great people of God into horrible people that I need to run away from, that want to hurt me, and it's sad, that the pressures of life can cause people to make errors in their judgment, doing bad actions that's making them go against their own conscience. The stress is causing, a panic, and it's causing poor choices. And this poor choices that they're making is going against their own conscience, and their own conscience, by going against your own conscience, that's what triggers the negative stimuli, that BPCD expression. That, like think of it, little light switches: bipolar, schizophrenia, drug addiction, alcoholism, autism, ADHD, depression. Think of them as light switches. Each little light switch has a label that reads each neurological difference. And when you do that process of that panic, rush, action on the rush, and when your conscience is affected, I believe that it causes changes, it mutates your DNA expression, causing mental health issues. And that's why everyone's like, okay, why do we have mental health issues, in the world more so than ever? Because everything's getting so expensive. Because, you have to have the latest cell phone, the most expensive car. Everybody's so filled, so full of their objective is vanity. It's so much that people have been so stuck on their devices, and some people are so stuck, in themselves and trying to make everybody believe that they are adequate, that they've lost family value. There was a Berkeley study that talks about, that mental illness. They talk about a Berkeley study that talks about, I heard it one day and I was like, wow. They said they can't explain, nobody's to this day, even the most professional people that study, mental illness, they say they don't know exactly what it is, but they do know that what plays a big factor in mental illness is a lack of appreciation. And I just thought that was crazy, like nobody's feeling heard or validated. Everybody's just trying to get from A to B. And it's funny how the world, the neurotypical mindset will say that autistic people don't know how to engage or socialize. When they're doing it ineffectively. I said, who are you to judge me? I can still use my brain. I don't do just because somebody told me to do it. And what's the point of talking if your whole vibe is negative stimuli? I've had enough negative stimulation. I feel like autism is, it's like almost like the body, and the mind is desperate, attempt for survival. And it's just like, no more stimulation, it's just like, it's had enough. That's what I feel like, and I feel like, I've questioned, I'm not going to say that this is fact, but I have questioned whether or not, autism is, evolution, because think about it, there's actual studies that say that people on the spectrum, that there's actually showing, signs, proof of changes in the facial structure. People on the spectrum, like the bone structure, the structure of the face is slightly different in autistic people, and there's different medical changes, to the body that are different than neurotypical people. And it's like if a person's if there's change being caused by negative stimuli, what causes the autism, it's a environmental cause. You know? It's environmental, and there's mutation in your DNA expression, that's already proven. And now our behavior and our, we have certain different medical, links to autism, and now they're saying that they're able to see now that there is slight facial structure changes in the face, and I believe that is what evolution is, and I always explain it like I feel like I'm Jubilee, like I'm in the middle of transition, like I haven't learned how to use my superpowers yet, I'm still doing that, I don't know, that's just like my little fun theory to think about, but all the rest of the first part of what I said is actually fact, Look up heuristics, look up behavioral epigenetics, and it's not just me saying this. My research I got from, known universities like Harvard and Berkeley. All my research comes from, very intellectual, educated, innovative, like scientists and professors. So, yeah, think about it. I just feel like autistic people need to be better understood, and I think that everybody needs to slow down. Take it easy. Because I know, and this is what I know, and I'm autistic. Okay, so I'm autistic, and I've dealt with all these struggles. But even the struggle of life, just the rush and the hurry and the worry, has led me, even though I know what it feels like, led me to trying to just get the job done. Like, hurry up, son, get in the bath, like, come on in. He's bullying, restraining, and he's obviously scared because he's having sensory overload, and I just like, oh, but it needs to get done, and then I'm just trying to manhandle to get him clean because I love him, but yet my actions are not slowing down. If you let your child slow down for a second, as soon as I slowed down for a second, and really just did my, looked in research and remembered back when I was a kid and remembered how my sensory issues affected me. I was able to understand what my son needed, and now he's using the restroom. As soon as I did this, within a matter of 2 weeks, I've only had this channel for like a month, As soon as I did this, my son now is using the toilet. It's his 5th day using the toilet regularly, when before he'd be screaming at the top of his lungs with a high tone pitch because he's afraid to sit on the toilet. And me trying to get him on there and him pushing me and just to sit on the toilet. It was totally the wrong approach. As soon as I started to just take my time and go around the outskirts of, understand him and, try different approaches, use my brain, use my experience, they say, there's a couple of ministers that have mentioned it before. That's why I always say Pastor T.D. Jakes is my boy. I heard him say that. I think Pastor Todd Michael saying, wisdom is knowledge put into action, and thank God, I pay attention a lot. I observe a lot, and I was able to use that knowledge that I've gained over the years to really sit there and understand my son. And I'm so proud of him today. He's in a shower. He takes a bath now. He takes a bath now without screaming. Sorry, I stopped for a second. I get a little emotional. He gets in the bath without crying now. He was smiling and laughing in the bath yesterday. I was like, oh my God, it's a new day. Ooh, so relieved for as a mother, there's been times where I sat there and I cried because I was just like, my poor son, I've been through the trauma and discrimination all growing up, they've even when I couldn't speak for our birth, people asked if I was, the R word, and they were and to think that my son is having even more challenges than I did growing up was very hard to sit and live through it. But I couldn't leave him, and it had to be resilient. I knew that it was a requirement because I love him that much, So I'm just so happy that we've reached this moment, in our lives where I see hope, and I don't just see hope, I see victory, and I just feel so blessed, that I listen to, like, to the signs. And when I say signs, I'm not crazy. I'm not saying like, oh, I hear voices. No, I'm saying like, I paid attention and I took the time to slow down and really try to understand my son as an individual. And as soon as I started to, work and try different approaches to what he needed, everything has changed. Even this morning, you guys, oh my God, this morning is so beautiful. I was up all night with my daughter, Izzy. She has sleeping disorder, too. Austin started being able to, even his sleeping is correcting right now. So, like, he slept through the night. My daughter was waking up all through the night. She's so younger. And I didn't get to sleep really. And this morning I heard an alarm go off, and I was just like, when I opened, like, 10 more minutes, well, it didn't go off, and I heard I'm sleeping, and I heard, cow. And I was like, I didn't think that was my son telling me to get up, because, like, I can prompt him to speak, and sometimes he'll say certain things that he wants, but I've never, had him, like, remind me of something, or, like, prompt me to, do something that needed to be done, to get with the schedule, I was like, I heard the little voice, and I was like, what the heck? And I was half asleep, and I was laughing, like, the little voice sounded cute to me, and I was still, like, half asleep, right? It's like, and I'm like, oh, what do I hear? I said, I heard a little angel. Did a little angel wake me up? Did God wake me up? And I'm jokingly, but I'm not joking, because I'm really thinking that maybe I just was dreaming of my kid saying that. That's what I was thinking. That I was dreaming of my kid, and then it was God's way of waking me up. That's what I was thinking maybe had happened. And then I look, and he's smiling, like, looking at me all like, and me and my son have this way of communicating with our eyes. Like, he looks into my soul, it's like so cute. And I said, what's that? Were you the little angel that woke me up? And he goes, oh yeah. He started shaking his head, and I go, oh yeah. It was so cute. Oh my God, it was like progress, so much progress. It feels like victory, and we're not even there yet, and I feel like I see it though. I feel it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for my son, you guys. It's so beautiful. And anyone that has an autistic child that, that's struggling with those, delays in milestones and having those challenges of restroom and hygiene, bathing, it can get very, emotionally, difficult for a mother, because they want to be there, but the child's resisting, and it needs to get done, and it can look like neglect if you don't, but the child is scared, and mother feels so lost. Even me, who understands sensory, issues, I feel like it was affecting me more, because I also have sensory issues, so his crying in high-tone pitch was making me like, I can't do this, I can't do this, and I would be like, even me talking about it, I'm pushing on my ears. That's what I do when I'm overly stimulated. I start pressing on my ears so much that I actually damage the cartilage. It's crazy. That being said, as soon as I was able to slow down and give my son back the control, I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel, but I've been telling everybody September is a month of giving back control. We have control over our lives more than we think we do, and we should want that for our children. And they'll never understand that unless we start to give them back some control. And you will notice that their behaviors that were difficult will no longer be difficult, and then you'll notice your child looking at you smiling like, thanks mom, like, you understand me now, and it's such, oh my God, I want to cry right now, sorry. It's such a beautiful feeling. I want this for all of you mothers, for real. Okay, well, I'm gonna get off before I turn into a crybaby. That's the only time that I cry when I'm talking about my son. My daughter, I haven't cried about her yet, because her challenge is, well, she's still little, I haven't seen it. It's more like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like, if you have a child with autism and they're really struggling really intensely, and you find people being mean to them and discriminating against them, and you like, you want to beat up everybody, just to protect your kid, because it's your baby. And people don't get it, And, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but it's more like, you start to feel like the worry and the really like heartbreaking like fear when your child starts getting older and older, you know, and you're seeing the real challenge. You know, there was a minute where my son was like pulling off the diaper, and he's 10, throwing his poop just last month. I was on the floor, I'd wake up and it was on the bed. I'd wake up and it was on the walls. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it needs to be talked about so that we can help each other understand what works, you know. And the first step of what I did, you guys, though, before I got him on that toilet, before I got him the physical hand railing support and stuff, before I got to there, I have to tell you the full exact process so that it works the same way for you guys, whoever tries. I was taking this parenting class, and I read in a part of the book where it talks about ignoring, okay? And I was like, ignore my child, that's freaking neglect. And I took offense to it. I was like, what the heck? Like, you know, I'm very literal of words, you know, like, okay, who are my kid? Like, who wrote this book? You know, I'm over there talking crap. And then I just sit there and I had to do some homework, so I had to read through it, you know? So I was like, I guess I'll just read it just for the assignment part. And I'm reading, and I was like, oh, I get it now. So what I did with Ozzy, when it comes to ignoring, it doesn't mean ignore your kid on the regular. It means when they do the bad behavior, sometimes an autistic child just wants attention, especially if they're nonverbal, and because of the communication barrier between autistic and neurotypical people, usually, you know, it's not really autistic people and neurotypical. What it is just someone that's nonverbal, and someone, you know, it's like say probably the same thing with someone that's deaf. You know, it's the same thing. It's really just the act of being able to communicate and the other not. You know, it's very confusing, and then a lot of people can feel rushed, and it's just hard. So when he would poop before, and I wake up from a nap, and I look up, and I find him like butt naked. I'm telling you guys, just so you know, because these mothers, and I know how serious and how effective this is. What I've done for Ozzy. He would literally be wiping his butt on the freaking walls. No joke. I'd be like, you know, like, oh my god. I'd get up and I'd be like, Ozzy, like, oh my god, are you serious right now? You know, like, I wouldn't never yell if I'm not like a mean person. I'm not a mean person, but like, I'm not like that type of parent. You know, I understand that he has challenges, and I know what it's like to have those challenges, and people be mean, especially your family. It hurts, you know. So I wouldn't yell but I would just be like, after so many times of it happening, I would just be like, oh my god. It was more like I mean, like, oh no, you know, like more like a little whine, you know. And he would be giggling, laughing, jumping up and down, and I'd be like, why are you laughing? Like, this is not funny. And he'd be laughing, and then I realized that this is attention seeking. Any attention, you know, because I'm so exhausted, and I'm so constantly doing like the maintenance and routine care for both of them, it's only me. There's no other family members, you know. It's only me and the two kids. So they probably require more stimulation. They need more, you know. They need more, maybe like day programs. They need me. They need therapists. They need more people in their lives. I feel like maybe, and so he would just be giggling, and also I'm very nice, you know, and he knows that mom will give him any attention, and mom lets him do whatever he wants, you know. That's how I was before, because I just loved him so much. You know, I still love him, but I mean, now I know like a healthy love is to help him, you know, help him understand how to do it and prompt him to do it himself, give him the control back, you know. Because it may seem easier and faster for that moment, you know, but in the long run, it's not easier and it's not faster. It's going to take even longer to get them to where they need to be. You need to start now. You know, so what I ended up doing when I realized that, next time he did it, he pooped on the floor, and I found it on the walls. When I got up out of the bed, I didn't make eye contact with him at all. Before I'd look at him like, and I'd be like, Ozzy, what the heck? You know? And he would be like, hee. This time, when he did that, he's sitting, for example, say he's sitting like right there, okay? Or I'll pretend the camera actually is Ozzy, so I see the poop right here, near Ozzy, and I see it. I keep a serious face, And I pick up his tablet that was next to him. I got his tablet. I put it on top of a high shelf. This tablet he loves, you guys. So this is like, you know. But I didn't give him any eye contact to let him have a, you know, to bring a reaction out of me, or for him to measure the waters of like, whoa, where's mom at right now? You know, is she really mad? Like what? I didn't let him, you know, read my face. I just did it. I was calm. Put it up. Went. Cleaned up the mess. You know, I wiped it. I'm not making eye contact. Remember, you're Aussie. I'm cleaning it. Cleaning it back. Throwing it. Nope. I can't really see my eyes now. So I'm picking it up. Throwing it. He's trying to look at me the whole time. You know? Like pretend, like, you know, you guys are with him. Just staring at me, like, trying to, like, look at me, make eye contact. And I'm just looking around and over, you know? And I ignore it. And then I walk into a separate room. I cleaned it all up. I left him on his bed. I cleaned him up. I said, oh yeah, I told him, get up. I told him to get up. But I didn't engage. Usually he's always like smiling at me. I wasn't mean. I wasn't giving him dirty looks. I just calmly, come here. Very calm. Poker face, you know, but like not smiling, not angry. Just serious, you know. And I cleaned him, very calm. When he was done, I said, okay, go sit down. Go sit down. He sat down. And he's looking at me like this. I can see him through the mirror. You know? I'm looking at the mirror and I can see him going. Like, he's so cute. I couldn't smile though. I wanted to smile because he's so cute. He was like, and then he points at his tablet. You know? He's going. And when he looks at me like that, I looked over him. And I acted like I didn't notice him reaching. And I acted like I didn't pay attention. I didn't notice his sad face. And I said, okay, I need to go take a bath now. I need to calm down. And I went to the restroom. I leave my door open when I take a bath, and I put like shorts on and a shirt because I never know when I can jump out for like safety for them. And I just sat in the, you know, and he was just sort of like, what? When I came out of the bath, I still kept it calm. And he's looking at me like, no? I didn't say anything. Usually I'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean, Ozzy. I just want you to use the toilet before I try to like talk because I feel bad, right? So I'm like, and I love him so much that I'm sort of like, you know, I'm a sucker for my kids, you know? I can't help it. But this time I had to try something different, so I just ignored it. And then when I came out of the bath, I said, I'm exhausted, Ozzy. I'm gonna lay down for a minute. And he was just super like, what is happening? I can see his face just like, you know, like thinking, really like trying to figure out what, you know? And that was that. The next morning, I got his tablet down. I got him ready for school, sat on the bed. I said, here, you can have your tablet. I said, but if you go poop on the floor again, if you go poop on the bed again, I said, I'm going to have to take your tablet away for another day. I know. This is why I kind of agree with the reward system. In a sense, not fully with ABA at all, but that aspect of it, because it's worked. And I think that it only is necessary in very difficult, you know, situations where he needs a little, you know, incentive and motivation. So after that time, I told him, Well, I let him have it back. I didn't go into full explanation like, oh, because you can't poop on here. I just said, here, no more pooping on the bed, okay? And I gave it back. I didn't go on to more explanation. I left it alone, and I still continued to do the slight ignoring, but like mildly, not like in a mean way. But like I still gave him his food, gave him his thing, but I didn't engage in like always like smiling. And then the next day, I fell asleep, and he woke me up. Now the poop, he got off the bed. He didn't wipe it on the walls. It was just on the floor in the restroom. And then you know, and he was standing there like, come on, wake up. And this is how I reacted to it. See, most people be like, oh, you still got poop on the floor, you know? That's what most, like, not most parents do that, but a lot of, it's a frustrating thing, you know? I got poop on the floor again, you know? No, you have to give them rewards, you know, that are realistic, you know, for wherever they are developmentally. So he did make an effort. He didn't do it on the bed, you know? I told him this when he did that before. I got off and I was like, I said, oh, you have to, I said, thanks for waking me up, Ozzy. You didn't get it on the bed? I said, great job, buddy. I said, I bet next time you'll go in the toilet, huh? I said, you can do it, Ozzy, next time, huh? I said, all right, high five. And I gave him a high five, and he felt the little feel good of like, oh, she didn't get mad, you know, she praised me for my efforts. Kids love praise, they just want to be appreciated and loved, you know. And then the next day, it happened again, and I praised him again, you know. And then before you know it, he stopped pooping on the floor, stopped pooping on the bed, stopped pooping everywhere, you know. He stopped touching his own poop with his hands. He used to touch it. Like, Ollie had such a bad situation where he would, as soon as he pooped, he'd start putting his hands in his butt and trying to, like, wipe the walls. I was constantly with, like, bleach and soap. That's why I'm under control. Like, I'm really, like, recovering from all that cleaning. Like, no joke. So I went through that. It was very difficult, you know, and it was very difficult physically on me. You know, like, it made me really exhausted, and like I'm all like a little refugee right now. You know, I'm all torn down, exhausted, you know. And yeah, and now it's just so crazy that after that I got him to start going to pee in the toilet, but he still would sit on the toilet. And I said, okay, that took care of, you know, the attention seeking, you know, aspect of it, you know, how I was reacting to the situation. That was correcting that. There's many aspects to helping a child with one sensory issue that they have. They have many sensory issues, you know, different types, you know, but what I'm saying is that to each particular one, there's more than one thing you have to do, and more than one person you have to correct. It's not just the child, it's the adult too. React and how will affect how they react. You know, and for us to react the right way, we have to do our homework. You know? And that's coming from an autistic person. You have to, you know, I'm autistic, I know a lot what it feels like. But even I have to do my homework. You know? Not everybody's the same. And boys are different than girls, and you know, so many factors at play. You have to really take your time. Slow down. You know, get rushing. Children are not, you know, it's not, wherever children are involved in a scenario, it's not a scenario where that should be rushed. They are children. You know, and I just feel like the world has gone so fast that it's making us rush. It's not good for y'all. Anyways, and also, you know, also with the bath, my son screamed how much he would throw my body in. You guys see the video? Okay? Those videos, you'll start to see from the first. You can still see in the first video, he's still trying to shove my body in. I'm just like, ugh. You just see my whole body sliding, you know? That was even better than what it used to be. What it was before, I was in panic so much. He's super gentle giant. Never once tried to hit me or anything. Sweetheart. My little daughter right now smacks him in the face and hits him and throws things at him, and he doesn't even touch her. He just looks at me like, help me, you know? And he's a super gentle giant, but when he's panicking, he can appear aggressive. It can scare somebody that doesn't know. So I think so you can stop calling them aggressive. You know? I understand that a lot of parents have jobs, you know, and they're all gone all day because they have to pay the bills. I get it. But don't call them aggressive. It's not their fault that you don't have enough time to, you know, to get to know them. You know, when you're autistic, you can't just know, like, oh, that's my kid. Of course, you know, understand their autism, and then you can say you know them. You know, it's I don't mean to sound rude or like, you know, insensitive. It's just it's very important to take the time to get to know your autistic child. You know, you will see my son's face when he has visitation with his father. His dad doesn't know him, so his dad's kind of like doesn't know how to respond, and whether he's doing it in a mean way or not, he still kind of looks like his expression that the dad has in his face is kind of like hesitant, like doesn't know. And you can read it all over the expression on his face, and my son's just like, kid can pick up on that, you know. You're his father, you know, or if you're his mother, you know, and you don't know how to engage them, they're gonna feel weird. They're gonna be like, this guy think, you know, my parents don't like me, or they think I'm a freak, you know? Like, it feels bad. I'm saying this because I went through this with my family. They didn't know me like that, so they always looked at me like, oh, you're weird, or you're too you're too sensitive, or, you know, you're aggressive. So I just hope that kind of, you know, I know kind of going on for a little bit, but I feel it is very important. It's a very important message to me to give to the world. Because I lived it, I went through it, and I'm hoping that, you know, I went through a lot in my life, and I'm hoping that there was a reason for it, you know. It would make sense if I had to go through all that, you know, to allow me to, you know, share what I've learned and with the world that have autistic kids in it, and to also help my children, you know. It would make sense, and it would be okay with me, you know. I can die in peace knowing that I had to go through all that so I can help and make sure that any other kids didn't have to. You know, it makes a big difference on their happiness, and, you know, the number one cause of suicide is autistic youth. I mean, number one cause of suicide in the world, of all types of suicide, is autistic youth. It's so sad. I'm autistic, that hurts, and I understand what the feelings come from. I've never been suicidal, but, you know, my family was trying to kill me. That's why I was like, I don't even kill myself. I want to stay home instead of leave. No, I'm just joking. I'm not really joking, though. That's probably what happened. It got dark real fast. Yeah, so I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I come with good intentions, and I come, you know, from a, you know, I'm very analytical and very innovative, and sometimes I express myself kind of like forward, and I hope you guys don't take anything that I'm saying, and, you know, like to be insensitive or discriminatory to neurotypicals, you know. There's been a lot of good neurotypicals in my life that have helped me, you know, along my journey, and I have love for everybody. We're all children of God, you know. I just hope that you know, I hope you guys see that I'm not trying to be hurtful to anybody, you know. Especially I notice, like, you know, I'm a mother, you know. I'm autistic, but I'm a mother first than anything, you know. That's how I feel, and I know that every other mother feels the same way. So, like, I understand the, you know, the worry and the efforts and the love that goes into this, you know. And a lot of times mothers end up standing alone doing this, because men sometimes can be, not saying that all men are this way, and if you're not a man that is that way, you know, running away when things get difficult, if you stand by, you know, the child, at least, you know, my hat goes off to you, really, you know. But unfortunately, there's a lot of situations where men run off when things get difficult, you know. And that woman, she stands there for her babies, and she stands there and she holds it down, and it's not easy. So I know that it would be, hurtful if you guys were trying to interpret what I'm saying as an attack. That's not my intentions. And I wish I had a mom that understood my autism. And that's why I make this channel. Just to give you some tips that might help. I'm not like the voice of autism, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel that it might help, but AA people do it all the time, and addicts do it all the time when they go to those meetings, Al-Anon, what do? They sit there, they share their stories, and they support each other, and they hope that, by hearing one story, it can help them, with their lives. Well, it's the same thing. It's a support group, a support group type of community that I'm creating here online, and it helps me, and by helping me, it helps you, so we can help each other through this process. If there's any questions that anybody has, or any information they'd like to share with me, that might help me, any information that I might like to know, and I like to know things. So if you think that I'm missing something, please put it in the comments, or however you want to communicate. You can private email me, or Facebook friend me, message me. I'm very, I'm an open book, and I'm very much trying to reach out. So don't hesitate to reach out. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you guys all have a blessed day. I have to get ready to I have to go get my son from school, and I have to go to my regional center appointment for my autism. All right, guys. Remember, slow down.